Right here?
Yeah, this is it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah.
Pero es bueno que estés así, ¿cómo se llama? Caminando con eso más seguro que el bordón.
Sí.
Porque con eso te apoyas en las dos manos.
Sí,
Y con los dos solo con una. Mira, yo ya...
peso en esto cuando siento que me voy para atrás.
Exacto.
Ok.
Tengo un bordón, pero un día fui donde mi hija y mi nieta me quedó en su carro y olvidó un bordón ahí en la casa de ella.
Ok.
Y ahí se quedó el bordón. Me dijo que me lo iba a traer, nunca me lo trajo.
¿A qué hora se toca antes que se conecte?
Yo creo que a las 9, yo no sé si lo han cambiado. No me Yo quiero saber por qué me aventaron hasta aquí atrás de 2 horas.
Es lo que te digo, como no en esos varios días, 8:48.
No tengo ni con quién hablar, ella yo solita.
Mr. Kepler will be right in here.
Ok. ¿No hay con quién?
No hay con quién hablar.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning,
Hello.
Mr. Kepler. How are you?
Good.
Just make yourself comfortable over there. I'm just disinfecting everything because of this COVID situation. Okay. This is Dr. Dudas, our medical
How are
director.
you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine. You probably saw me around because
Yeah, I've seen you.
I'm a Kaiser doctor, but I'm also a medical director, some kind of like
Yeah.
supervisor
Okay.
everything
Yeah.
that's going on.
Hello, Mr. Kepler.
Hello.
Robert, I'm the manager of the clinic.
Hello.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
All right.
You want me here or you want me?
You can be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Accommodating us.
It's nice to have sun here. Mr. Kepler, do you
Mhm.
drive? Do you drive?
Not right now, not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Not since I've
Do you transportation? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
No, no, it's not too.
So are we waiting for somebody else?
Dr. Selke.
Oh, okay. Or is she on her way?
I texted her just right now. Let me give her a call, actually.
Mr. Kepler,
Yes.
Where did you start?
Well, the first time I was ever hospitalized
Okay, you
was
wanna
when
give the
I
call,
first
right?
had dialysis. That was in February of 2018.
Oh, okay. And you continue till now, or there was a break, or?
Yeah, kind of how it all sort of began was I had initially, I think this is coming off, I had initially like a temporary catheter in February of 2018, and so I was hospitalized from February until I believe around July
Okay.
of 2018.
Oh, so you've been in the hospital all the time?
Yeah, I was in a coma from February until I think around April, like
I see.
over a month.
Which hospital was it?
It was Kaiser Sunset.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was the first time I had ever been hospitalized. I mean, before I just, go to like checkups or trips or, And when I was released, they took the catheter out, and I went to appointments afterwards, and like in the end of 2018. Well, actually, a few months later, they said I had a 50% improvement.
Oh, okay. So it was all acute, basically. It was all acute, but acute sometimes take one dialysis, sometimes 6 months dialysis, and anything in between. So you will recover, and basically what happened later on.
Well, I started developing like a series of how can I say, hospital visits, due to the fact that I had 2 hemorrhoids. And they were like so painful that I actually had to go to the hospital. I was on morphine, and they told me that in order to remove them, that I had to get a catheter and to be on dialysis, because they said they didn't want to take the chance of me having a heart attack during the surgery to remove the hemorrhoids.
Yeah, was like your potassium probably was high at that time, and that was because that's usually what happened.
So
I'm just speculating.
that's how they kind of, like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have done the dialysis again. And the reason is that I had a 50% improvement. I was taking like, what do you call, over the counter, like herbs or vitamins and stuff to clean out my kidneys and stuff. And, but the pain was like, it was, I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, I was on morphine. That's how painful it was. So I definitely needed to, eliminate that, and no other hospital would do it. I went to several hospitals. I went to Kaiser, I went to Culver City, I went to Inglewood, or to Cincinnati is what it's called in Inglewood, and I went to East LA, and just out of all of those hospitals, some of them said they would remove the hemorrhoid, and then they always came back and they said, oh no.
So finally, which hospital did you go to?
In East LA,
Community.
East Los Angeles Community Hospital.
And since then you are on dialysis?
And yeah, so that was the end of 2018. That was December. It was really almost, I didn't get out until January of 19. So I've had a catheter since then. I've had a few that got infected, or for whatever reason I needed to have them replaced. But I know the difference between, like if I bend my neck or something, or I move around during dialysis and it causes an alarm, and when it's completely locked. And right now, the one I have is, they did a pretty good job with it, because I've had it since the end of 19.
And right now you still have the catheter, do you?
No, I still have one right here in my.
Did you think about getting the fistula?
Well, okay, right now I'm not working. Before all this stuff happened, it's like I'm an electronics engineer, and I need to have my motor skills for all sorts of reasons, because assembling electronics and robotics and motors and computer work, and I was kind of I was interested in it, like getting the line in my fistula, but everyone that for whatever reason, it just happened to be by chance. God doesn't want you to have it. And the reason I say that is because everyone that I spoke to that has gotten one has had some problem. They've had nervous problems to their entire nervous system. They've had motor difficulty, shaking, their dexterity is just not what it is. Their arms are all,
Yeah, I mean, there are individual differences basically with patients. Everybody has different, experience. So, but statistically speaking, this thing possesses more risks than this one, because this is the connection between the outside world and it ends up right above your heart.
Yeah.
So the germs can migrate over this is the biggest threat. This one has much less infection rate, much less infection. And there are some people, especially people with long-lasting diabetes, who have all the vessels messed up, and it's difficult to get something. But if you are not diabetic, then basically fish to have that would be much better option. But again, this is just my opinion.
Yeah, I understand. That's one of the things that I have to live with, and my ultimate goal is, well, I mean, I've been trying to do home dialysis for a long time now.
Which home? The belly or the?
Before I started here, when I was in the hospital, when I saw fresenius, the number one reason I wanted to go with fresenius was because there was a home dialysis program. And I was under the impression that I'd be able to get into it. Now, the original doctor that I had, she's I say Russian, but Armenian, because she's from the former Soviet Union. But she just opposed to it, and she put up a red flag, and she just stalled it, and just
Did she mention why?
she tried to get me to just forget all about it.
But did she mention why? Did you have any
Well,
surgery in the belly?
she was saying, oh, it's just too dangerous. And for
I'm
you,
sorry, before I forgot, this example given like Huntington has a big program for home dialysis for PD. We even refer people to Huntington in Pasadena.
Huntington?
Yeah,
What is that? I never heard of that.
Huntington Huntington Memorial Hospital in Pasadena.
Pasadena.
Yeah, it's Pasadena, basically. I mean, there is a lot of places, because like Fresenius is a huge organization. They possess like nearly 3,000 units in the United States. So we don't do home dialysis here in this unit.
Right, no.
But there are some units which offer that. We, of course, at Kaiser, we do promote the home dialysis, but there are some problems down the line, potential problem, because Medicare is supervising this very closely. So we have to follow whatever Medicare is saying. Let's say somebody has cholecystitis and gallbladder removed, appendicitis, C-section, whatever, PD is not going to work.
Right.
Somebody basically who prove over years that, because there's a lot of people, they don't care, we don't offer them, because there's the full responsibility of the patient. And in the process also, the Medicare requires the nurse and social worker to check the house where you live, if you have enough place for storage, and kind of like general view of how the hygiene is and so on. So because you wouldn't believe what people are having in the house. So sometimes we run into those problems. So it's not like, I can recommend and everything is automatically done. It's a process.
All right, I understand. Yeah, I know that.
But David also has the home program. Yeah, everybody has this way or the other.
Yeah, I've so far I tried to, because of the doctor, trying to stall me and not get it. That's why I've been here so long, because I haven't been here that long. It's been 3 months, but my whole intention was from the very start to have home dialysis, but she just brushed it aside, and I kept contacting Fresenius, through their online number, and they kept telling me, oh, you have to talk to the social worker. So I talked to the social worker. So anyway, make a long story short, I reached out to what is it called? That's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it right now. NX, the one who makes the machine. They lease the machine.
Oh, a next stage.
Yeah, next stage, and they got.
But that's different. That's for home hemodialysis.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I.
Oh, you don't want belly.
No. I have
Oh.
I have a catheter
Oh, I'm
for
sorry.
hemodialysis.
Because much more popular home is the peritoneal dialysis.
Yeah, I don't
which
want
is
that.
Totally different.
I don't want anything. Just having this already in my chest is enough. I don't want to take it out and have a whole surgery.
So you're talking about next stage, which is totally different.
Yeah.
Next stage, actually, we used to have that. We still have like 7 patients on that. Next stage works best if you do it 5 or 6 times a week. But shorter sessions.
Yeah.
But same thing. For the next stage, you cannot use the water from the sink.
Right.
You have to have
You're
bags.
specialized,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to have like 4 bags, 5 liters each for each treatment. So it's the same thing. Home visit to make sure that when they deliver the whole thing. And so Medicare, which is actually on top of every dialysis institution, regardless of your age, Medicare kicks in when you are 65 or where you are 90 days on dialysis. Medicare actually pushes everybody to promote home therapy.
But not everybody can do that.
Yes,
I
exactly.
already know I can do it because I'm an engineer.
Oh, this sounds like,
And,
sounds like you know what,
and when it
what
comes
you're
to,
doing,
yeah, and when it comes, you know, I mean,
who do you live with?
I live with my parent, I live with my mother right
Okay, because that's one of the biggest contraindications. If somebody lives alone, is just not safe.
Right.
Basically, because if something happened,
There's nobody else there to know.
911. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, well, that sounds like, I don't know you so well, but, it sounds like you know what's going on and so on and so on. Again, we do support that, but I cannot make a decision for anybody else. But
No,
we
I
do support-
understand.
We do support home.
Yeah, I feel 100% confident it's the best thing for me there's just all sorts of reasons, okay? For a long time I was anemic and I didn't have the hemoglobin, I didn't have the energy
Well,
to go back to work.
Everybody has that.
But my, because my hemoglobin was like 4 point something.
Really?
Now it's 10.5.
Yeah, our goal is,
Yeah.
in 10 to 11, that's the best. Too high is also, can be
Cause
associated with
problems.
complications, yeah, viscosity of the blood and so on, so 10 to 11 is our goal. Our nurses are on top of that, they have algorithm, basically, they're adjusting the medication, iron and those, Mircera and other stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to work, and under my present sort of schedule and just the harshness of the treatments, it's almost impossible. But see, with the home dialysis, it will, number one, it will allow me to adjust my schedule to where when I do the dialysis, I won't have to spend, like today, not just today, but every day that I go for treatment, it's like an 8-hour
Absolutely,
thing.
but we
It's like I'm on the machine for 3.5 hours, but the transportation, the waiting, it ends up being like 8 hours out of the day.
I hear you, I'm
And,
familiar with the whole.
so number one, the home dialysis will allow me to free my schedule to go back to work. Number two, it's less harsh on the body because it's more treatments, like you said, but less. And then the other thing is I don't have to deal with these other complications. I'm an engineer, and I'm not trying to act like I'm haughty or this and that, but sometimes when you go into a hospital, you have to deal with this God complex. And what I'm referring to is there are nurses, there are nurse technicians, doctors, so on, etc. And they all have this attitude like, oh, I'm just going to be more specific, because you guys, I didn't bring it up until basically the social worker brought it up. She says, oh, the staff is complaining that you are not cooperating with them. Now, why is it that they are complaining that I'm not cooperating? Okay, they're trying to, first of all, I am an African American, okay? I'm an engineer, okay? And what they don't know is I have a military background. I'm more established than the majority of these people who are not even U.S. citizens, okay? And they're technicians or they're nurses or whatever, okay? And they are trying to literally make it seem as if I'm something that I'm not. That's defamation of character. Now, what am I referring to? They're out there spreading rumors to everyone that I'm a pedophile. They even said I'm a child. Actually, what they say is a deep cover child abuser.
Why don't we wait with this for the whole group, okay?
Okay.
So everybody can hear.
Okay.
Yeah,
But the reason I bring it up is because
we are very concerned about all these things, basically, but let everyone.
the reason I bring this up is because the home dialysis removes me from this environment where you have this God complex. And that's what's going on. They think that they can come and bring their illegalness. And there's no other way of saying it. There's laws in the United States that protect everyone. And they're breaking those laws.
Yeah.
What they, I'm not going to get into detail because you just told me, but the reason I brought it up is the home dialysis removes me from that equation. And I should have had it from the very start. You know, that one doctor, the lady doctor, you know, the Armenian. She basically just, oh, it's just too dangerous. She didn't try to listen to me or talk to me or communicate with me. It was just what she wanted. And, you know, I'm not here just because of what she wants. You know, I'm here to get the best treatment options that are available, including home dialysis.
You know, we are here to help you. Not to hurt you, but to help you. But, you know, as far as the home dialysis, as our group, we don't offer it. We don't offer it. And again, you have my full support about home dialysis because that's what I do for my patients. My patients who are coming here, actually, they are already pre-screened. They know, they got all the education about all the home options, belly and this, and they say for this or that reason, no, because not everybody wants to be in charge. A lot of people are too sick to do it at home, basically. A lot of people are alone, they can not do it at home. If they don't have family support, they can't, basically. So this is something what we can work out, basically, at the FMC level, maybe with, you know, I don't know, where do we have the closest home program?
Home program will be East LA, and then we have one in Glendale.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been speaking with
Pilar. Is her name Pilar?
it's actually a gentleman, and
Oh,
his
okay.
name's Efren. He was recommended to me by, I believe her name is.
It sounds like
Janelle?
in the long run, that would be the best option. But in the meantime, you know, we need to talk a little bit about situation in here, but let's wait for is Dr. Selke?
Yeah, she said she's probably 5 minutes away.
Excuse me, I'll be right back, okay?
Pilar is our main contact here for this area.
I haven't spoke to anyone. You know, I spoke to someone named Gino.
Gino? I'm not sure.
She's-
Gino's isn't he like a body man?
I just know that she's at 855 number, area code.
855.
Her extension is 621.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That's for Fresenius?
Yeah, Fresenius.
Okay.
Her name's Gino
Gina.
at Fresenius.
Fresenius.
This is her phone number. That's her extension.
Okay.
And she recommended me to Aaron.
Aaron. I would.
And he came to my house.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last time I spoke to him, he called me. Today's Friday, so he called. He came to my house on Monday, and he called me the next day. And
Okay, that's bad.
he had asked me. He had asked me what my just my information was, so that he could pull my medical records from you
Got it.
guys. And that's the last time I heard from him. He was pulling my medical.
When was this? Last week?
That was this week. That was
So
Tuesday.
this week. Okay. If you want, I could give. You can get Pilar's number. She's
Okay.
our home therapy liaison. Like,
Okay.
I know her and she works fast. So.
Yeah, that's what I need, because, you know, I mean, whatever it takes, I'm willing to do it, you know.
So her name's Pilar. Pilar. Number's 424 305 7503. 424-305-7503.
Okay,
Yes.
appreciate
So
that.
she's with home therapy. Do you prefer PD or you want to stick
Well,
yourself?
No, because you know I have
The catheter?
and I just want to kind of like keep that, because you know
You
everything.
don't want a catheter, man. It's
No,
like-
no,
it's
no,
close
no.
to your heart.
No, I understand. I know it's an extra risk. you
Yeah.
know, because it is close to the heart. But see, this is the whole thing. I'm an engineer, and I'm an electronics
Okay.
engineer, so I
Alright.
need to have my motor skills. And everybody that I've talked to that has gotten the fistula, they've all had problems. Every single one of them. I mean, I've talked to like
So
over 30 people, and they've all had problems.
So the fine motor skills goes away or it gets.
Yeah, it affects the whole nervous system. Even though it could be one arm or the other, or it could be
Yeah.
your leg, but it affects your whole body. And I need to have my dexterity
Yeah.
for
Soldering and like.
yeah,
small
for
stuff.
putting things together. You know,
Yeah.
robots and
Yeah.
machinery, and then aside from that, you know, computer work, you know, CAD work, because I do a lot
You
of
can?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reason why, and then the other reason is that everything is like a stage. You know, like I want to get into the home dialysis for a lot of reasons, so I can go back to work and have the work schedule. I'm not as affected by the
Yeah,
treatment
the
sessions
hours,
because they
correct.
can take a lot out of you, and then the hours and so. The home dialysis is the first stage, okay, but ultimately I want to be able to get a transplant.
Yeah. Are you on the
But-
list now? You can be on the list now.
Well, you know, I was waiting for Medicare, and I have that now,
Oh, okay.
so it will pay for it. But the whole thing is, I've contacted different organizations to get on a list, and you know, what they basically says is it's a lot faster to get a donation from a
For
cadaver.
a cadaver family.
And unfortunately, if you get a cadaver, or if you get a kidney from a cadaver, it generally doesn't last as long, you know, because they don't screen it as much as they do if you find a living donor. If you have a living donor, you can more closely match them to your DNA and your
Yeah,
body
yeah.
and your blood type. And,
So it takes longer.
yeah, it takes longer,
takes a while,
but
yeah.
it's better because
Get screening more.
you know, just as I've been trying to get into home dialysis, I got in contact with Next Stage, or is it? Yeah, Next Stage.
We on next stage.
Yeah, I know. I found that out recently.
Oh, okay.
But the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's a guy there. His name's Richard.
Richard,
And-
yeah, I know Richard.
Yeah, I spoke to him once, and then afterwards I've been speaking to somebody else.
Yeah, he used to be a patient, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing it up because he's had 3 transplants
He did.
over the years, you know.
Yeah.
And I think like his first one was, it was relatively successful, but he had other health conditions, and it only lasted like 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And his last one, his third one, I'm not going to even speculate about a second one, but I know this because I spoke to a different representative after him, and she was telling me.
Oh, his story.
Yeah, and he told me a little bit too on the phone. I talked to him for like, a long time, like maybe 3 hours or something.
Oh, wow.
But basically what I'm getting at is just everything's in a stage. I want to get a transplant. That's the reason why I don't want to ruin my body. I don't want to ruin my career. I went to school, to be an engineer, and
Yeah.
that's something that can stop me from being successful. And
But do you need to have a fistula to have a a transplant or no? Is that a requirement?
no.
No.
No, it's
No.
not.
No, but to get the transplant, my logic is basically I want to get the home dialysis first, so I have that foundation, and I can also go back to work. And I'll be able to generate enough money to where I can handpick, so to speak.
Go to Mexico.
Well, I have a lot of options. I could
Yeah.
go to China. I could go to Mexico.
I heard
could go to Europe. There's
Arizona. We had a patient before. But you have to be a resident of Arizona.
Hmm.
Arizona is a shorter waiting list
places.
versus California. This was 3 years ago. We had a patient when I was in Orange County. He has relatives there, so
Mhm.
he used their address. And then a weekend later, he went there. Then he got a call.
Hmm.
He probably waited less than a year. I'm not
But-
saying everything happens like that, but
I know a place where if you pay $25,000, you
Yeah.
can get it in 4 weeks.
oh wow,
I'm
black
not
market,
gonna,
right?
I'm not gonna mention their
Oh, yeah.
name, but
got it.
there are places. But see, the whole thing is that's money, it's cash. I mean, I have insurance that will pay for it.
But they won't. This is like a black
But
market.
then it's like a waiting process, a waiting list. Like if I pay the money in cash, I don't have to wait.
Yeah.
And I can find someone that is, a healthy person has 2 healthy
Kidneys.
and all they need is one. And so, it's just a matter of me working, and that's why the home dialysis is like the best sort of thing for me, because it will allow me to go back to work. I can't work right now under the circumstances.
When was the last time you worked?
The last time I stopped working really when all this began 2 years
COVID?
ago.
Oh, the
No.
dialysis.
Yeah,
Okay.
in 2018, February. Up until that time, I was working full time as an engineer, and I was at work, and I just, I went unconscious, and it was like it's just been a long, long road of recovery. Because even when I got out of the hospital in 2018, I went to work as a salesman and not as an engineer, where I could sit down and I was weaker, and I could just sit down and use a computer and talk on the phone. But also I was anemic all of a sudden for the first time in my life. So I couldn't stand, I couldn't do engineering tests. But now my hemoglobin is like 10.5 and I'm ready to work, but my schedule is just, this dialysis is like,
It's hard. It's a full-time job.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
It just takes my whole schedule up.
I mean, I don't know what happens. Do you get weaker at the end of after the treatment?
I do. That's the
Yeah.
other thing.
Yeah.
It's to have a job that is a physical job. Really, any job, even just sitting down, you require to have energy throughout your day if you're working full time. But especially if you have a job that involves, any type of activity,
Yeah, physical activity.
physical activity, then after like trying to pull a full shift, 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours even, after just the whole process of the dialysis, it's not going to be something that's going to
Yeah.
be easy at all.
Yeah, I mean, plus getting your body used to working again. You're not mentally. You have to really prepare for it too. Like you have to think about dialysis, and you have to think about work.
Physically and
Mentally.
mentally.
Well, the good thing is with home therapy, it's not only 3 to 4 hours. It's like
Yeah.
the whole night. So there's our kidneys work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Over here, you only do 4 hours, 3.5 hours, for 3 times a week. So it's not really getting the full function of a full kidney.
Right.
But it's something that keeps our body still healthy at the same time.
Right, it keeps me alive. I understand
Yeah.
the whole, the need for the treatment.
It's so amazing how they figured out that this small dialyzer
Can affect
can affect the
someone's whole
kidney.
life.
Yeah.
But what we need is, like, and there's a lot of,
Hey, Dr. Selke.
hello,
Yes. Have a seat, please.
there's a lot of people working on things.
How are you? Good morning.
Good morning to you. I'm good. I'm doing better. My hemoglobin's gone up, and I'm getting stronger. And I want to go back to work, but I was just talking with everybody, Robert, and also another doctor here. My schedule is kind of like hampered because of just the whole process of getting dialysis. The transportation, waiting for the treatment, and so on and so forth, the recovery time that I'm having after each treatment, and all that is sort of like, affecting my ability to work, to go back to work. And that's why I'm really big on dialysis. I was from the very day one, first time I talked to you. And so I've been trying to get into home dialysis. I've been trying to get into U.S. Renal. Well, I've been working with NX, and they had contacted U.S. Renal. And at first they said that I could start right away. For whatever reason, that changed, and here I am.
So next stage called U.S. Renal?
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
Yeah, I was speaking with someone there named Anne,
And
I'm not sure where she is. She could be in
We
Massachusetts.
also gave him the number for the fresenius.
yeah, she I
Transfer
gave her
will be
the
to-
number of Pilar,
for
and then
transfer.
I think they already went to your house, right? You said?
Yeah, I have gotten a visit from
Gino?
well, I spoke to Gino on the phone, but I got a visit from Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron.
Mr. Kepler,
yes.
sorry to interrupt. I also got Betame and Jenny on the line right here.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Alright.
And-
So-
And you know why we are here?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
So, Mr. Kepler, thank you for coming and accommodating us for this for this meeting.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Dudas is here, Adrena social worker, Dr. Selke. Jenny is Adrena's boss, and Briana, she's my boss. So everyone's here. And so the reason we're here today is to discuss your concerns. So what happened Friday and then Monday. So we're here to discuss. We have specific guidelines on, we have our grievance process that we have to follow. So, if you can let us know what your grievances are, your concerns. So we're here, like Dr. Dudas said, we're here to help you as much as we could. So at the same time, we also have, your agreement, your patient's responsibilities as well. And part of it is no recording of any kind. And it's for the safety, it's also to protect the safety and also the privacy of others. Not just the staff, but certain patients here. So with that said, what are your concerns that led to the situation on Monday? Wednesday.
Well, since you bring it up, I'll tell you, those are your policies, and those are written into a contract. And I signed that contract. And when I signed that contract, I also signed that contract under the impression or the understanding that the law would be followed. And the law has not been followed here. There are laws in California that protect people just like me. There are laws in the United States that also protect people like me. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest universal laws in the United States is self-defense. Mm-hmm. Now, self-defense doesn't just relate to aggression. When somebody is trying to attack you, you have the absolute authority and right to use deadly force to protect yourself. That's what self-defense is. But what people don't understand is that law has different sorts of degrees. And what I mean by that is just simply put, recording someone with a video camera, as I've done in this clinic, I've done it as a direct result because people inside of this clinic that work for Fresenius as nurses and technicians have been harassing me on a daily basis every time I've gotten dialysis here. Okay? They have used defamation of character. Now, what do I mean by use defamation of character? They've gone to other patients and they tried to spread rumors, which are lies, by saying that I'm a pedophile, that I'm a deep cover child abuser. Okay? And just to set the record straight, I have no felonies on my background. Okay? That means no felony convictions. I have nothing that's related to sex offense. I have traffic items, tickets, etc. Okay, but I have no felonies and nothing related to sex offenses. And anyone who is saying what they're saying, and I'm going to name the names in a moment, okay, that's defamation of character. And under both federal and state law, this is illegal. This is a civil abuse. It's a violation of the law. This is not a one-time occurrence. They've done it repeatedly every single day. I have evidence to back up what I'm saying where there are nurses, and it's not one, but several, okay, and as well as the associates saying the following: we're hitting him every day, every single day on Michael Jackson. Now, these are supposed to be professionals. I'm a patient. When I signed that contract, which is what you're referring to about protecting people's privacy and not recording, I was under the impression that my rights as a citizen of the United States would be upheld. And they have not. They've been violated every single time. Not only have they been violated, but as a direct result of the defamation of character, when I've left this facility, I've had people aggressively, violently trying to do things to me as a direct result of defamation of character originating from right here in this clinic. And the people who are responsible, the number one person is Livia. Okay? I don't know what her last name is. She's about 300 pounds. You can't miss her. She's very heavy set.
Yeah.
And every single time I've been here, and most recently with the change of the schedule, she's been at the center doing exactly what I've just said. Okay? And multiple statements. You know, I have everything very well documented.
In another unit, I know you have been in other units, right? Maybe more than once?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you had this kind of issues with them also?
There have been some other issues,
Okay.
and they're very similar. And as a direct result of that, I know exactly how to handle what's going on here.
So I'm sorry to hear that. You know,
Yeah. Mr. Kepler,
Mhm.
have you ever asked for any mental health examination?
Well, you know what? It's really interesting that you say that, because that's the number one deflection. That's the number one thing that people try to do to deflect the truth. What you're saying right now is you're suggesting that I am not in reality and that I need to see a professional about it. And I find that very insulting. I find that to be very stupid on your part. And I also find it to be very ignorant for the company of Fresenius to have anyone working on their staff to present that idea, because it's wrong. It's not going to work. I have evidence to back up what I'm talking about. Now, what do I mean by evidence? I have evidence from me recording. The agreement that I signed was broken by Fresenius and by your staff the moment they broke the federal and the California state laws. Okay, and as a result, that's why I record it. And the reason I talk about self-defense is simple. When someone is an aggressor and they are breaking the law, you have the right to defend yourself. Recording is the right for me to defend myself, to deflect what you are trying to do, which is really stupid. I'm letting you know exactly how it is. You think that you can make it seem like I have some sort of mental problem, and this is the problem. The problem is your staff, you're the doctor here, your staff has said everything that I've said. This is a civil abuse of California law, of federal civil law, and criminal law. I have reported Livia, I've reported Michelle and Brian to the authorities, to law enforcement authorities, because they've crossed the line from civil into criminal. I have the evidence of this. What you're saying, you can say that in the bathroom, in the mirror to yourself, because it ain't going to work with me.
Mr. Kepler, we are not going anywhere with this. As you mentioned, you reported 7 people to authorities, so this looks like, the authorities will need to deal with that, basically. Let's try to concentrate on where can we go from here? What is the situation? What do you expect? And let's discuss what we can offer to match your expectations.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I just want to say, since she went there, okay, she went there by making it seem like I need to see a mental official or, someone in psychology or this and that. You know what I needed to do? I needed to call Los Angeles Police Department and inform them that there's criminal activity going on here. I needed to form the Federal Bureau of Investigation and give them evidence of what is going on here. And I've done that. I also called, guess what? The Los Angeles County Health Board and let them know what's going on here. And I've filed written complaints about it. In addition to that, I've contacted the California Board of Nursing Okay, and I'm filing written complaints on those 3 individuals. Okay, and it's not just those 3 individuals. Okay, there's another one as well, and his name is Edwardo. And you know what he said to me the very first day I changed my schedule? He said very loudly, talking with Livia, while they're doing this charade, okay, and that's what I call it, because see, what they don't realize is I know exactly what they're doing. I know their whole operating system, okay? What he said was, Robert said we need to hit him, meaning the manager. Your name is Robert, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's what he said, okay? And so already I was also not contacting the manager because of that very statement he made the first day I changed my schedule starting at 9 or 3:30 in the morning. That's the reason I didn't come to the manager, because I'm under the impression from that statement that he made that in his own words, Robert said we need to hit him. Okay? So this is what's going on here. This isn't a matter of me going there. It's a matter of this is reality. You want to talk about reality? Okay, that's reality. Okay? I have evidence to back it up. So, yes, I'm offended by your even implying that I need to see professional help. The professional help that I needed to see is what I just mentioned. The authorities, reporting it, documenting it, and giving the evidence to them. Now, what I could also do is, depending upon this meeting, I could go to the media. And you guys can see the video on YouTube or the news, if they decide to put it there. Okay, that's how serious this matter is. And for you know, I'm very offended for you to make the implication that I need to go and speak to psychologists or psychiatrists. Professionally, your fiduciary responsibility as a doctor, as far as I'm concerned, is 0. I came in here.
Mr. Pepper, I'm sorry, but we are going nowhere with this discussion. There's absolutely no reason to say all those things.
No, there is a reason to say it. If there wasn't a reason, I wouldn't have said it.
We are going
If you
nowhere.
want to report it, you should report it to authorities.
Well, it's already been done.
That's good.
And you just need to know that if there's going to be anything that's going to take place in this clinic that is a crime, it will be reported to the authorities.
Okay,
And you're not getting away with it.
You should report. And
I have
you
reported it.
should keep yourself calm as well.
Listen, I am calm. The problem is that you don't like what I'm saying. It's not the way I'm saying it. You just don't like the idea that I'm saying it. You can't believe that someone's standing their ground. The reason why they made a complaint and they said, oh, our staff is complaining that you're not complying with with us, that you're not cooperating. Of course I'm not cooperating. You think I'm going to cooperate with the criminal? With the criminal? With someone that's trying to defame my character?
Mr. Cutler, I'm getting the impression that we are not going to be able to provide the services to you.
Why is that? Because I'm letting you guys know what's going on?
What you said, if I would be in your shoes, I would feel extremely uncomfortable to have somebody from our staff to touch you, the catheter, to provide you dialysis. This is procedure. This is dangerous procedure, basically. If I would be a patient, I would like to have 100% confidence that all the staff is basically doing the best for me. Doesn't look like you have this confidence.
No, I don't have the confidence, not in Michelle. That's why I told her I did not want her to touch me.
We have the stuff what we have, and if you are not comfortable basically with that, we cannot provide you the care.
Well, how many nurses do you have here?
Mr. Pepper, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
To whom?
We are running this place, okay? We are running this place. We are responsible for all the patients over there.
What is your point?
Including.
What is your point?
My point is that it was very serious accusation that you bring, and you call the authority that it's okay. We are not going to talk further about that because it's not our area of expertise. My area of expertise is providing safe dialysis to the patients, and so is Dr. Selke, and so is Robert.
Okay.
We want to provide very safe dialysis.
Okay, I don't want to be around Michelle anymore.
Patient-
She's under investigation. I don't believe it's going to be much longer before her license is going to be.
She's the charge nurse. She's the
Her
charge nurse.
license is going to be suspended when she's under investigation. That's the way the law
Well,
works.
that's not something I can do. That's not something I'm responsible
The only
for.
reason I'm bringing it up is because I just said I don't want her touching me. You're trying to make it seem like if you have all these other nurses. I had another nurse before I ever saw her one single time. Okay, and that's the way it needs to be. If you guys deny me from getting treatment in court, that's going to be one more thing that you have against you. And it will be your responsibility because you guys broke that agreement.
In a healthcare facility, I cannot guarantee that in case of any situation, unpredictable situation, earthquake, crisis, someone calling, and so there would be enough nurses whom you like to take care of you.
It's not a case of who I like. What it's a case of is Michelle has stated verbally, I want you, we are hitting him on Michael Jackson. We're going to shoot him on Michael Jackson, and I want you to shoot him in the head. And I have this on video. I told her I didn't want her around me. This is the reason why I don't trust her. Like you just said, you need to have trust in your medical person doing treatment. There's other nurses here, and I'm requesting to have another nurse. The other day, when I told her not to touch me, a different nurse, her name was Jen, I believe. She's the one who started me in the morning. Okay, she came and she finished me up, and that was that. Okay? No, I don't want to go back to Michelle. I don't want to be around her. She's a criminal. She's broken the law.
We heard that already.
What about, you have this many complaints and there are serious complaints. What Dr. Dudas is trying to say, you can actually change the unit, you can go to another unit. Or, and you can even make it faster if you want, go to the hospital and they can actually admit you and change the unit to another facility. So.
Well, how about this? Since you're a doctor and you're supposed to be representing Fresenius,
I don't
okay.
represent Fresenius.
You work for Fresenius.
No, I don't work for Fresenius.
Then why are you here?
I'm your physician, that's the reason.
Under whose authority?
Nobody's authority. Everything.
In the United States, everyone has an obligation. You have a fiduciary responsibility. Okay? I didn't choose you as a doctor. You happen to be here. This is Fresenius. Now, whether you're an independent or a contractor, it's insignificant. Okay. The point is, as a doctor, I told you the very first time I saw you that I wanted home dialysis. And do you remember what your reply was to that?
Yeah, I said, do you have anybody who helps you at home, right? And I talked to you about PD. You said you don't want peritoneal dialysis treatment. You said home hemodialysis. I said, but you are by yourself. How we are going to handle it? Then you said you have some, friends and etc. But then later on, when we talk about that, then you said you are by yourself. And I said this could be dangerous because when you're on dialysis, if you have low blood pressure, then you can actually collapse and somebody has to be with you. That's what I said. And you kept insisting on that you can actually do the dialysis by yourself. I referred you despite that because it's not, at this point my decision. You need to actually talk to the home hemodialysis nurse. That's the reason I have referred you to the social worker based on your request. So, I don't know why you brought up this subject, but, I do remember everything we have talked. I have recommended so many times in, prolonging your dialysis treatment, and you said no. I recommended you, getting a fistula. I told you about the risk of the catheter. You said no. And about your blood pressure medications, I talked to you because your blood pressure has been running high. You were not taking the medications regularly. I tried to increase the dose. You said no. So it's actually, I remember every conversation. It's not only just, remember talking to you, but it's also in the notes. So saying that, you have actually failed to comply with my recommendations so many times. And I know you became so irritable when I said, psychiatric opinion, but the reason why I'm saying is in order to prolong your life. Because what you're actually saying, those things we also consider as hallucinations, okay? Sometimes people actually hear the things which is not there, and it can happen. And when people actually just believes on that, sometimes they actually think that during dialysis treatment, you're not the only patient I have. I have so many patients, and there are sometimes patients coming up to me, yes, they are poisoning me, and this and that, those kind of actually thoughts that they might be in their mind, and they may really think that they are hearing these voices, or they may think that somebody is harming them. And when we don't treat those medical conditions, then eventually they do something that which can endanger their life, like as you did on Monday, you clamped yourself, which is very dangerous act. And as a result, you lost 1 unit of blood, okay? And I don't want you actually do harm yourself. That's the reason I'm bringing up this thing. You may actually don't like what I'm saying, but if you want to prolong your life, if you don't want to harm yourself, it is better to actually seek help. That's the reason actually we got together here today.
Was there anything else? Okay, now, in response to what you've just said, number one, the reason why I closed my valve was because they were changing the settings on the machine. They, meaning the nurses and the technicians. They kept changing the settings on the machine. I have proof of that in video. Number two, to address your mental accusations that I needed to see some professional psychiatric help or somewhere along those lines. That's what the video's for. It's immutable. Do you understand that word? It basically means that it's not up for contestation because other people can see that it's not someone making something up. It's not someone imagining things, hallucinating as you're trying to present, which is a lie. Everything that you just said is not true. Everything that you've just said is not true. You're making it seem like I said that I have friends and they're going to help me from dialysis. I never said that. You're the one who has some sort of imaginary, creative imagination, and you're just putting something out of the thin air. Okay? I'm a person who's an engineer, who's a professional. Okay? I have documentation to back up what I'm saying. The very first time I said I lived with my parents, I have a mother, she's not technically oriented, but she can call during an emergency situation. That's what I said from the very start. You just went all over that and you just completely changed it to something that I never said, that never happened, based upon your imagination instead of reality. Okay? Now, you also talk about health reasons, and you talk about you need to have 4 hours and a longer treatment. Now, when I get to the point where I start to see fog visually, physically, okay, in my vision, and I get lightheaded, and I get dizzy, and I feel like I'm going to pass out, guess what? It's time to end the treatment. It doesn't mean that I want to have a discussion for 15 or 30 minutes or 45 minutes if it just happens to be that much time left that was planned on the machine. That's not something that I want as a patient to discuss. It's a matter of I want to be taken off the machine because I don't want to go unconscious. And it doesn't matter whether I have low blood pressure or high blood pressure. I know the games that these people play when they're doing treatments. I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. I have been on dialysis where a nurse came in and laid down on the cart over 10 large saline syringes before the dialysis started, meaning she had planned on having it just like that, and proceeded to put 5 of those in the machine. It wasn't here, it wasn't with Fresenius, okay? But the point is, she put them in the machine and my blood pressure dropped. I know what certain people do for whatever ulterior motives that they may have.
Do you
okay?
That is also, they are trying to poison in this unit.
Okay, you just said a very specific word, poison. So let me ask you, what is the meaning behind that word? What is your understanding of the meaning?
Well, the poison means is basically giving something which can harm yourself, you know. So, but that's the word that you have used, right? I mean, when you were making the accusations about this unit, that you are being poisoned.
About this, about here, or about what I just said about the 10?
About this unit as well.
Well, you know what? Since you brought it up, you know, I'll let you know something. There's a doc or a nurse. Her name's Pal or Pal. That's what I was told. She was the nurse during the first shift. Very nice Korean woman, or that's what I was under the impression she was Korean. You know, we had a very cordial sort of relationship as a patient and a administrator, you know, a medical administrator. And, you know, she asked me every single day that I came here if I wanted to have a vaccine. You can have you need a flu vaccine, you need a hepatitis vaccine, you need a pneumonia vaccine. And I told her, no, I don't want any of those. I'm not obligated to have any of those. Okay, this ties into also the other thing that you said. You said, per your recommendation, you're not following your professional advice that I should do this, I should do that, I should take out a catheter that's working. That was one of the things that you said that I needed to do, to go to the hospital to get a new catheter, okay? And then you don't remember saying that I needed to have my catheter removed and a different one put it back in? You don't remember that?
That I don't remember.
Because you did say that. And you want to know something? I have a record to back it up, since you didn't remember. Because you're very good at imagining things from your creativity, but yet you can't remember
Mr. Webber,
very
we have
poignant
already-
facts.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt the whole thing. It's already, you know, quite late. We need to make a decision. We need to decide where are we going from here.
Home dialysis.
There's one thing I
This is
can
not going to
say.
happen today.
Yeah,
This is
Why
gonna
not?
happen because it's a process. You told us that you actually fish for this home dialysis. It's a process, and we talked a little bit about that before. It's home visit. It's somebody who is going to write orders for you, and this stuff is a process. It's not going to happen today. Okay, but we need dialysis today. So Robert, what are we doing?
So I, you know, as a physician, Mr. Kapler,
Mhm.
I won't be able to follow you up in this clinic, which means that you have 30 days to choose another physician.
Well, my choice is home dialysis.
Yes,
It's just
that's
that simple.
fine. You can go to any dialysis modality.
You know, home dialysis isn't like it's going to just start in your house today. What it is you go to a different facility. They have a clinic. They have machines. It may not be the same setup as this, but it's a place where I can get dialysis.
Let me tell you how we
And
do
they-
it. Let me tell you how we do it. When there is a patient who decides to go for hemodialysis, regardless if it's new start or patient like you with some experience on dialysis, the training takes 4 weeks in center. So for 4 weeks, 5 times a week, you come to the center and you are getting those treatments supervised by the nurse. It's only after those 4 weeks when we feel that it's okay, it's safe for the patient knows everything, so we can take the machine home and start. So it's a process. But before this 4 weeks treatment, there is a process what I mentioned to you, including home visit, which is required by Medicare, not by us. It's not our but again, we don't offer it here. So
Right.
we cannot even start the process.
Well, you know, but you can help me get into them. You can help me fast track the process. I'm pretty sure. I'm already contacted, you know, people that have that capability. Around, you know, told me on the telephone that he's here somewhere in, I thought he said 10th Street or something. But it doesn't matter exactly where, he's here in LA. And he told me that he doesn't have any patients, he could start right away, and that's where he left it.
Within like say the unit, like our unit,
Mhm.
there would be some physicians who are working over there.
Right.
privileges over there.
Right.
Because I don't have privileges over there.
No, I understand that.
So probably the first thing would be to find the doctor who is privileged in the home unit. That would be the thing to start.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, the sooner that
Because
can
like, you know, in my place at Kaiser, that's what we do. But I don't work outside Kaiser, so I don't have too many connections to help you out with it. I just know the general rules. But again, what are we doing right now?
So I already informed Mr. Kepler, so, you know, I will give him the, you know, termination letter, and he has 30 days to choose another physician. I will take care of the, you know, whatever order needs to be done within this 30 days. And, or any urgencies, his calls, his medications, prescriptions, and etc. And he will be given a list of the physicians, by adrenaline. So you can choose any of the, you know, other physicians in this facility who has privileges.
And so those 30 days is a violation of the contract, and I will hold fresenius liable as such for breaking the contract.
If
And
this-
I'm just letting you guys know that.
after 30 days, then what happens? If he cannot find a physician?
So after 30 days without a physician, because in dialysis clinic, CMS mandated us that you need a ordering physician to have dialysis in a clinic. So after 30 days, and you're no longer the doctor, and there's no other doctors willing to take Mr. Kepler, he will not be allowed to do treatment in this facility.
Mr. Kepler, I'm your advocate. Please receive this from me. For your sake, if you are not happy with us, if you don't trust us, your dialysis is not going to be effective on your body. So we are going to help you. We are going to help you to move to another dialysis, maybe another modality that you trust and you feel happy with.
Okay, well, you know, I'm glad that you're saying that.
Trust us, we do that for you.
Okay, I'm happy that you're saying that, and the same thing that I've been saying since I came here the very first day, I want home dialysis, and that's where I need to transition to. It's just that simple. If I would have been given that right from the very start, we wouldn't have to have this conversation. But we already know why we're having the conversation, because it's been presented by the doctor here that I wasn't cooperating with her imaginary instructions on what she thought I needed to have, which is not what I needed to have, which is why we're here. I need to go to home dialysis. That's where I need to go. Now, if that can happen in 30 days, then great. Maybe it'll happen sooner than that.
I remember we approached you on our plan of care meeting with the doctor. One of the barriers for not getting the home dialysis, because you said that you don't have enough family support and you live by yourself. I heard that.
I understand.
Yeah.
What
Is something going to change in your life that you will have some, family support? Because that requires, home dialysis requires somebody that, get training about the dialysis and be with you to prevent, some risky things that may happen, for your sake. So is something going to change in your life to be able to be eligible for home dialysis? Or do you live with somebody, or somebody, do you have a...
I mean, it's ultimately his decision, and he has been given the number, so we cannot push people, we cannot actually make them contact each other. It's the physician. At that point, it's the patient's responsibility to call and arrange it, And the home hemo patients also, home hemo nurses also want the patient to contact with them. We cannot arrange that. It's your responsibility to make the contact, make an appointment with them.
Okay, well, that's already taken place. I'm staying in contact with them, on an almost daily basis, okay, without harassing. Okay, but to address what you're just saying, I appreciate that you're gonna help give me support, okay? And again, the home dialysis is the objective, okay? And I'm already in the process of doing things. If it could be speeded up, somehow, then that would be great. I don't expect, to just have a machine in my house tomorrow. I know there's a training process, but the whole thing is, Iran told me that he doesn't have any patients. His schedule is free. He could take me on right away, and as soon as,
Who is this person?
well, I believe he was pronouncing his name Iran or Aaron.
But this is RN or who?
For Fresenius, he works with Fresenius, home dialysis.
Yeah, but
He could be another company, but they're
But is it a
connected.
manager? Is it an RN?
I believe he's an RN. From
Okay.
the way I
So if he is RN and he's gonna train you, he needs orders from physician.
right.
So you need to ask him who is the physician who is running the whole business. Get in touch with that person.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Because the RN, they will do whatever, but they need orders. They cannot start dialysis, continue dialysis without orders. And we have to be very specific in writing the orders.
Well, thank you, doctor, because that's what I'll do when I'm done here today. I'm gonna go get on the phone. I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna ask him for the number of the physician and to move forward.
So what do we do? Because the appointment was 9:30, I believe.
Because this is
Do you
one
have,
hour ahead.
Do you have any clinic that you're, have in mind that you would move to just in case the 30 days and then the home therapy is not set up yet?
No, I don't.
Okay, we're gonna find something for you.
Yeah, but so again, I want home dialysis.
Yeah, I know.
What I've got going right now is that I was working with NX, who makes the machine.
Next stage, yeah.
But there's two options here. I was trying to get the U.S. renal over a month ago, like almost 2 months ago, because they said that I could start right away. And what I mean by right away, it was like a Friday, and they were saying I could start the next week Monday, that fast. And what happened was they said, oh, well, you're in LA, we're in Northridge, and there's like 4 locations in between here and there, and we can't, we don't have, whatever. They said their internal policy is such that they can't train me because I'm out of their jurisdiction. So anyway, I have 2 things. I have U.S. renal, a different location that I'm waiting for that's not available, but then Iran, which is part of, or Aaron, which is part of Fresenius, said that he could start me right away because he doesn't have anyone else that he's training. So it's not going to be one of those things like I'm going to wait 30 days and go to another clinic and be sitting in a clinic.
So you have,
I want home
yeah.
dialysis.
The home dialysis.
That's the objective.
Okay. Any other questions? Betamate? Do you have any questions? Jenny?
So we can, I can have Robert connect with him today and see when we can transition you to home. So.
It's Aaron from East Olympic.
Yeah,
AARO.
yeah, that's right. He did
Yeah.
say Easton one. That's right. I don't know why I can't attend.
Sir, hi,
Yes.
this is Jenny. I just really want to thank you for expressing your specific needs. It's really important to us that we individualize our patients' care, and so I'm so happy that you expressed specifically what you're interested in, and we will do what we can to support you.
Thank you, thank you. And I just want to add one last statement here. The doctor had mentioned poisoning, okay, and before I was interrupted, just very briefly, so I'm not beating around the bush, I consider the word poisoning to mean giving somebody something against their will. This nurse asked me, she said, you need to have a vaccine for this, for that, and for that. 3 different vaccines. I said, no, I don't want any vaccines today, and I don't want any in the future. She gave me a vaccine anyway. I consider that to be giving someone something against their will. Okay, she gave it to me anyway. I broke out. I went to 2 hospitals, to the emergency. I went to Cedars-Sinai and I went to Kaiser as a direct result of her giving me some vaccine. And it almost crippled me. I couldn't move. I threw up the very day she gave me this vaccine, not more than 15 minutes later. And I have evidence to back it up with the discharge papers and visits from hospital and other things that have taken place. And that was a nurse by the name of Pal. I know she gave me a vaccine because that day she came up to me and she said, "Do you want a vaccine?" I said, "No." She gave it to me anyway. That was a Saturday. 2 days or 3 days after that, she comes up to me into the machine and she wanted to inject an injection. I said, "What is that?" She says, "This is your iron." Now I'm only supposed to have that once every 2 weeks. Now what was she giving me 3 days before that made me throw up, that made me to where I couldn't breathe, that made me break out, that made me go to the emergency hospital of Cedars-Sinai, that also made me not be able to move my muscles and have muscle spasms? What did she give me?
Do you remember what day was it? We have to look at
I can research the exact date.
There's no record of you receiving any vaccine. That for sure. Let's look into it. We're gonna look into it.
Yeah.
But iron could be given every day as well. Every 2 weeks is the Mercer.
Every treatment.
Yeah, every treatment.
She was only supposed to give it to me once every 2 weeks.
That's
Per
the
her
Mercer.
own statement. That's
Okay.
where her own
Got
statement
it.
was.
We'll look into it. We'll look into it.
There's no way we can answer this right away, but we'll
Yeah.
look into it.
Alright, I have to jump off, I have to get on another call, but thank you everyone, for joining the call, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betame. Thanks, bye.
Anything else, Mr. Kepler?
No, that's it.
Okay, so we would like, that's our policy, we still, I know you have different ideas about it, but out of respect for other patients, would you, we would like you to conform with the policy of no recording and, respect others and staff.
I've never had a lack of respect for anyone, including the staff here. There's never been a stop of me respecting people's rights and under the law and courtesy and
Sir,
yes,
Mr. Kaplan,
yes.
so, whenever you're feeling a little uncomfortable and you're feeling like things are happening around you, is there anyone there at the clinic that you would feel comfortable to let them know what's going on?
Well, there are people, like, let's say, a security guard that I could speak to. If people are threatening me with violence as they have.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about like when you're sitting in the chair because, I work as a dialysis social worker as well, and I know a lot of my patients often tell me how uncomfortable they feel when they're doing their treatment. So I tell them, whenever you're feeling uncomfortable or things are happening around you and you're not understanding, people are not explaining things, like, please call me. Let's figure out a way that we can connect so that we can talk it through. Is there anyone at the facility that you would feel comfortable letting them know?
Well, at the hours that were coming, there was no one sitting in the lobby or in the office. There was no one sitting because you're talking about like 3:30 in the morning till, I finished like 7:30 or 8 or in the morning.
That is very true. That is definitely a very early time, and it's probably less staff that you're seeing around.
Yeah, there's literally nobody in the office. So there's no, aside from the nurses, which are the ones who are doing what they were doing, or the security guard, there is no one else except for the patients. Even the patients, go ahead.
How does it feel about coming in a little later then, so that we have more staff around?
Yeah, I'm open to that. That's fine with me. I was just gonna say, just even the patients were saying, stop threatening him. That's what the patients were saying.
Yeah.
This is the level of intensity of what was going on. So I have respect for other patients and people's privacy as well as the staff's privacy, and I'm not the type. Yeah.
Hearing you say those things, I mean, you are an intelligent, articulate man, and definitely, I can't see you, but I can hear you, and, so perhaps we can visit that. I mean, is that even possible? I mean, I'm not in charge of the clinic schedule or anything, but is that a possibility to be able to bring him in a little later, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, second shift we're full. Right now, the only reason he was able to make an appointment is because, I mean, we could accommodate him as a patient in the hospital. But second shift is full right now. I mean, there's a third shift. TTS, we only have.
Would be okay? Would that still be okay with you, Mr. Kepler?
Yes.
How about, yeah,
Okay, so you're like in the afternoon time?
No, I'm open for any schedule, you know.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you so much for your flexibility. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you need to start your dialysis, Mr. Kepler. Should have started half an hour ago, I think. Huh? Oh, was that?
That's a good idea. I don't want to hold you up. Sorry, Mr. Kepler.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate everything.
Thank you so much.
Any other doctor?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna wait in the lobby, or?
Yeah, wait in the lobby, please, so we could,
Yes.
You can come in here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll go ahead and move you over. Go ahead.
Where should I?
You can go ahead and get, wait, and then they'll have you in the back of the line.
Okay.
Here, straight to the back.
Morning. Christian. Kepler.
Good. How about yourself?
Waiting for a while outside.
Yeah, I was talking with Robert and the doctor. Okay.
You want the other side?
It's up to you. Okay. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you today?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. But just actually we expect you to come 9:30.
I know.
Yeah, so I'm saying that your nurse, Mia, she's so hungry. She just
Oh,
eating now.
okay.
So are you able to wait like 10 minutes?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for the okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
So just to confirm, Mr. William J. Becker, right? That's right. Popular.
Yes. 70. 70.
How much are you going to enroll you pay? 325?
Okay. Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3.5 is right.
Thank you for calling Fresenius Kidney Care. To be monitored or recorded for quality purposes. Please remain on the line for the next available agent. Important health updates. Please be advised we are taking significant steps to reduce the chance of transmission of COVID-19 and ensure our patients and employees are safe. If you'd like to hear more, press 1. Otherwise, please remain on the line to speak with an agent. Fresenius Kidney Care, my name is Vanessa. How can I help you?
Hello, Vanessa. My name is Christian Kepler. I called Friday and I had spoke with someone. I thought her name was, Cape.
Okay.
And anyway, I'm calling because I wanted to get an update on the complaint that I filed going back to November of last year.
Okay, sure. Christian, I'll be glad to assist you. And the reason for your call is you want to know the update for a complaint, right?
That's right. I made a call on the 28th of November. That was a Saturday. And in that...
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Okay. Alright, sir. Are you a patient or you're calling on behalf of the patient, sir?
I'm a former patient.
Okay. So let me put you through first, sir, to the grievance department regarding to this complaint. So is there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Please stay on the line. Thank you. you for patiently waiting, Sir Christian.
Hi.
I'm still reaching the grievance department, sir, so hold on one moment.
Okay.
Thank you. You have already reached the grievance department, but unfortunately, they are receiving high volumes of calls right now. But if you want, sir, you can call us back here again in the engagement team regarding to the update for your complaint.
And when would that be? When can I call back to speak to them?
Yes, sir, you can call us back in a few minutes because you're receiving a high volume of calls.
Okay, so I'll try back in 30 minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your calling. Have a good day. Good afternoon, this is Deanne. How may I help you?
Hello, Deanne. I'm trying to get in touch with the complaints department.
Okay. Are you a patient of fresenius?
Past patient, yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm also going to provide you with a number just in case I disconnect you, but I'm going to transfer you to what we consider our patient grievance line.
Okay.
And I'll give you that number here in just a second. Okay. That number is 855-362-9088, and I'll transfer you now.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling the Fresenius Kidney Care Corporate Clinical Services Patient Grievance Line. Your call is extremely important to us. Please remain on the line for the next available representative. Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance. Good afternoon, this is Maureen.
Yeah, I'm calling to speak with the patient grievance line.
This is the patient grievance line.
Okay.
How can I help you today?
Well, I'm calling because I'm a former patient and I had never received anything in regards to the multiple complaints that I've made. I called going back to the 28th of November of 2020, and I talked to a gentleman who said that he was taking my formal complaint on the telephone and that I would get a letter from Fresenius in regards to that complaint, and I never got a letter back. And
Can you tell me your name?
yes, my first name is Christian. My last name is Kepler. And I was a patient of Mid-Wilshire.
Christian, and your last name is what?
It's
Can you
Kepler.
spell it for me?
Yes, it's K-E-P, like Paul, L-E-R.
Kepler.
Just one P. Kepler.
K as in kitten?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, hold on just a minute. I will look up and see if I have a record of your complaint, because there are, unfortunately, maybe several places where you have made a complaint, and I'd like to make sure that I'm not duplicating. If you could hold on
Sure.
for just a minute,
Yes.
I'd appreciate it.
Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more than Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more than Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more than Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease. With more Thank you for calling Fresenius Medical Care North America, the country's premier healthcare company focused on delivering the highest quality care to people with chronic renal disease.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Christian.
Yes, I'm here.
I apologize for the wait.
It's okay.
I have no record of your complaint,
Okay, that's a big problem.
so I don't know to whom you made it. It mustn't have been the clinical services support patient grievance line.
It was. I remember him. I remember him telling me so. In fact, he also said that he was going to have a gentleman by the name of Robert, and I have his last name here on a page here, if I could just get to it. But he said that he was going to have his supervisor call me, and because the complaint was about him and about his staff, and his name is Robert Briana. He was the supervisor of Mid Wilshire where I was going. And by the way, I have a medical record. I have my medical record there I can give you for reference.
Okay. Okay, I do see something here, but how this dates back to 12/3/2020.
Okay, and I made the complaint numerous.
And
Yeah, I made the complaint numerous times. I had a phone conversation on the 28th of November. I had another phone conversation a week before that, and another phone conversation a week before that, all to the complaints department. And I never once got a piece of mail that registered that complaint, aside from you saying that you see something there. So,
you're no longer a patient.
that's correct, because,
And,
yeah,
and unfortunately, the field will not talk to non-patients. This is the patient grievance line. So I can't comment on anything.
okay,
And
so who would I
you
need,
have to
who would I
reach
need,
out to someone else.
who would I need to speak to, that's there at Fresenius? Because, basically, I want to know if Robert Briana is still the supervisor. And if so, why is he still the supervisor?
I am not finding his name.
He was the supervisor of Mid Wilshire Fresenius. And I made complaints about about 4 people that he was supervising. I also made a complaint about Dr. Aline Selke to the medical board.
Okay, that is not mentioned in the complaint. I'm sorry. I can give you a number for our main number, and you may ask for the legal department, perhaps, because I can't really comment. Right?
Well,
Can I give you the main number?
yeah, I would appreciate it.
Okay, that number is 781-699-9000.
Wait a minute, my pen just went dry. Let me get a different one. Okay, I got 781.
699. $9,000.
Okay. All right, I will give them a call. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Yeah, is this Mid Wilshire? Fresenius?
Oh, you have reached this is not the actual clinic yet, but I'll go ahead and put you through to the clinic.
Okay.
Are you a patient here?
From,
Or calling on behalf of the-
I'm a former patient.
A former patient. Okay, may I know which clinic again are you trying to reach?
Mid Wilshire. It's in Los Angeles, California.
Okay, give me a moment, let me check it.
Their address is 1422 West 11th Street in Los Angeles, 90015.
Okay, thank you. I have your phone number for the clinic. Would you like to have it?
Yeah, give me just 1 second so I can write it down. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so that's 213 784 4560. You got it?
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
can you also give me since I've got you on the phone, I'm gonna call them because I want to request my medical records or a form, a release form, and in particular, I need to get my medical record number. And I remember calling Fresenius corporate for 2 reasons, going back to November of 2020. I called on the 28th, and I made a complaint. I made a complaint because of things that were taking place. I made a written complaint. I wanted to file a written complaint. So since I have you on the telephone, I'd like to really be able to obtain 2 things. The first is my medical record number, if that's possible, or I don't know, maybe I have to contact the actual clinic because that's what I was told in November of last year. And then the second thing is what exactly has transpired with the written complaint that I filed. I called on the telephone on the 28th of November, and I'm talking about 2020. And yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, please. Sorry.
Yeah, I made a complaint on the 28th. That was a Saturday, and there was quite a few events that took place really for the entire time that I was there at that location. And so anyway, I'm asking you, what is the status of the complaint that I filed? I never got a single letter in response to that complaint.
Okay. So, may I have your name?
Yes, the first name is Christian, and the last name is Kepler, K-E-P, like Paul, L-E-R.
Okay, thank you, Christian. So, you want to know the status of your complaint, right?
Yes, because I never received a letter saying that this is in response to the complaint that you filed on the following individuals.
Oh. Okay, I see. Okay, so regarding the complaint, I can go ahead and put you through to the department who handles that.
Okay, that sounds
So
good.
that you can check it. Okay, and with regards to the medical records, yep, I don't have really the direct line for that. We still need to coordinate with the clinic, Christian.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and check if the grievance department is still open. So would you mind if I put this call on hold?
Yeah, I'll wait.
See if there's anything else that I can help you with, Christian?
Well, no, just that. I mean, but I'd like for you to tell me if they're open or not.
Okay, one moment. Let me check it. Because the grievance department is located in different country. One. Where is Christian speaking? Okay. Let me put you on hold for 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for waiting. Okay, so I tried to reach the corporate grievance department.
Mhm.
However, they're already closed.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
want, I can go ahead and send an email, and I'll indicate there to give you a call back as soon as possible. And I will indicate also there your concerns, which is to follow up the status of your report.
Okay, from November the 28th of 2020. That was a Saturday. And basically when I called, I asked for the complaint department. When I spoke to the complaints department, I basically told them that I was complaining about Robert, who is the manager of that particular Mid-Wilshire location, because he was, literally doing all sorts of criminal activities and getting his staff to harass me and threaten me. And and aside from Robert, there was Edwardo. Edwardo basically told me in a conversation he had with this other assistant nurse named Livia Olmedo that literally these are his exact words. Robert, and I'd already mentioned who Robert, that's the first person I was talking about, the manager. Robert said that we need to hit him, end quote. Okay, and then he also said, I guarantee they're gonna be coming to get him out of here, meaning me. Okay, so they never gave me the last name of Edwardo, but I have video and I have pictures of him because, anytime someone does something illegal, the first thing you do is you take your cell phone out and you record him, so you have proof. Okay, and I mentioned Livia, who Eduardo was having a conversation with. Her last name is Olmedo. This lady I have on video, and I don't have the exact paperwork in front of me, and this took place in November and October or whatever. But she basically said something to the effect she was trying to get a different person who was a nurse, not an assistant, but an actual nurse, to shoot me. And I have her on video saying that. Are you going to do that? And then she's pointing at me, and she's like about 5 paces away. And what she didn't understand is that I was recording her. And anyway, and when I say recording, I was recording her with video and audio, separate audio. And then she says something to the effect of, first she said, are you going to do that? And she points at me. And then afterwards, because he's like, well, he didn't say anything, but he looked at her as if to say, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I have her very clearly on video saying, we want you to shoot him. Okay, so going back to the reason why I'm repeating this is because that's what my complaint was on the 27th or the 28th, which was a Saturday. And this same lady, Livia Olmedo, on the 27th, okay, she walked around the clinic telling all of the patients, okay, and probably more than 50% of them were all Latinos, and then there's a few Asian or white, and there's really I was the only black patient in there, and anyways, she walks around telling all of them, we're threatening him today, we're threatening him. And she's so ignorant because it's like she doesn't even, obviously I can hear what she's saying, but this is the sort of level of racism, racial discrimination, hate. She tried to say things that were a defamation of character against me. She tried to make it seem like I was a pedophile or a child abuser, and why would she do that? I'm not. It's not true. But she would do that because her name is a Latina, okay, and she's a very low educated one, and she actually thinks that if she lies, that she can get away with threatening someone, which is what she did to me, and also the language of the threats of trying to encourage other people. Oh, we want you to shoot him, and just you know, I'm mentioning the one thing because that's what I have clearly on video, but there's a lot of stuff that I do not have record of that she also did. So anyways, I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I'm just letting you know and letting it be known that this is not forgotten. And you know, I should have gotten a letter in response to a complaint. That's what it was. It was a complaint that I lodged on the 29th. And you know what? That wasn't the first complaint. I had a meeting with the doctor and the assistant doctor of that location and the manager, Robert, and I told Robert what his employee had said and why I didn't complain to him, and he tried to play it off like, oh, I don't know what he was talking about or this and that. I made a complaint before that meeting. That meeting took place, you know, in the same week, in the beginning of the week, that Livia continued to do the harassment. So I'm saying all this to you because I want it to be known that I made a complaint to Fresenius and that Fresenius didn't do anything about it, and I was forced to leave the clinic. I was told at first, earlier in the week during the meeting I had with the two doctors and there was a social worker I forgot to mention, and Robert, and then he had 2 or 3 people on a conference call on his laptop. But I'm just going to make this really short, and then I'll thank you for your time. So basically, during that yeah, just hold on. I have just one more paragraph here. During that time, they told me that they were going to discharge me and that I needed to find a new clinic within the next 30 days. Okay, they did that because that was retaliation for me making complaints about the abuse that they caused and their staff caused. It was racial, it was sexual, it was discrimination, it was harassment, it was domestic terrorism. Okay, and now my whole point here is that I made this complaint even before that to Fresenius, and again, I didn't get anything in response. That's the reason why I'm going through this verbal conversation with you, is so that I'm hoping you can just put an abbreviation in the notation that I made a complaint and nothing was done about it. They retaliated. They Yeah, I'm calling because I'd like to know what my medical record number is, because I would like to request my medical records.
Okay, what's your name?
First name is Christian, and the last is Kepler, and I'm a former patient.
Okay, give me just a second, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kepler, give me a second. I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay.
Hold on, Bob. Okay, do you have a pen?
Yes.
Okay, so your medical record number is 5,000 456 365.
Okay, let me repeat that back. 5,000 456. I didn't get the rest of the numbers.
365.
365. So it's 5,000 456 365.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Christian Care Medicine from Costa Speak. Can I help you?
Good morning, Rosa. This is Christian Kemper. We spoke a few weeks ago. I was calling to find out if you guys are sending my medical records, my medical and billing records.
Okay, hold on, let me go ahead and transfer you to someone because remember I told you I was covering? I just helped them answer in the phone. I gave the medical request. If you see in the email, I actually told you to go ahead and send it to a different email, and you forwarded it to me that same day. So I'll go ahead and transfer you to the clinical manager. Give me 1 second, okay?
Right. Robert, this is Christian Kepler. I'm a former patient. I've requested my medical records and billing records about 2 weeks ago. So when are you planning on sending them? I'm the one who filed the 3 criminal police reports. That's it.
I remember now. Yes, sir. So we have so anything that they was under the request, we have to go to our corporate management system, and they listen to it, and they let us know. Charge you per page.
And so you're telling me you haven't done that? It's been 2 weeks. How long is it going to be before I get my records?
We need to get your.
That was sent. That was sent 2 weeks ago.
We have that. To let them know. It's not on me. I did that. I could. I don't know where they're at.
All right, and you already have my contact information because I left it with Rosa. She has the address where to send all the documents to.
Yes. Yes. Oh, they.
That's insignificant. Okay, if there's a charge, ultimately Fresenius is going to pay for it because I already told you. I told you back in 2020 that I was going to see you in court, and I will see you in court, whether it's you or the corporation. You're being sued. I'm suing you in civil court, and listen, what you did was a hate crime. There's no statute of limitations, and I'm prosecuting those 3 people. Regardless of what story you've been told, I have another story, and I'm going to tell you something else. You're part of the prosecution. You're one of the suspects, and I will be expecting my information. I'm going to hang up with you and call corporate right now to make sure, and I'm going to make another complaint about you because you're still there and you shouldn't be. I haven't forgotten what you did. What is the truth?
One and a
Is that your story? Well, yes, I'll see you in court. Fucking lying piece of shit.
Following options. Or you have to call area code 213-486-8130. Press 3 to dial 311. If you need to contact us regarding a criminal investigation or vehicle impact during the normal business hours, 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, press 4. Senior Lead Office. You've reached the Los Angeles Police Department Park Detective Division. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. The hours of operation for the Detective Division are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. To listen to this message in English, please press 1.
Your call could not be completed.
You've reached the Los Angeles Police Department Grand Park Detective Division. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. The hours of operation for the Detective Division are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. To listen to this message in English, please press 1. Confirma el número 2. Carefully the following options before making a selection. If you have questions about a vehicle impound, or an auto detective, press 0. If you need to speak with homicide detective, press 1. We're sorry to report telephone number and brief message, and an officer will be sending time of it. Thank you.
Start recording at the tone. When finished, press the pound key.
Hello, my name is Christian Kepler. I'm a victim of a crime, which is basically conspiracy to commit murder. I've left about 10 messages, and if I don't get a call by 5 p.m. today, then I'm just going to file an internal affairs complaint against your whole division. So my phone number is 310-666-5633. 5745. My name is Christian Kepler, and I'm calling because there are a whole group of people that have basically been committing attempted murder who have not been charged or arrested, and they need to be arrested. And I've got video evidence, and the lack of justice here only means one thing: racial discrimination by Rampart Division, and it's an obstruction of justice. I'm getting ready to turn all the evidence and documents over to the FBI and let them know the two detectives I feel are racially discriminating against the victim, and they're obstructing justice. And I consider them to be accessories to the crime. I'm calling because I want results, and these people need to be arrested. My phone number is 310-666-5745. If I don't get a phone call back today by 5 p.m., then I know what to do.
Set your message now and exit the system. Press the pound key. To add to your message has been sent.
Good morning, Rita. My name is Christian Kepler. I'm a victim of basically conspiracy to commit murder, and I got the whole thing on video. I turned all this information over to Rampart Division. I'm calling you because I got your number from Google as, it's a search which lists you as Rampart Division District Attorney's Office. And, what's going on is a combination of racial discrimination and obstruction of justice. Yes.
Sir, I just at the time, I'm a victim.
Okay.
So, you need to discuss something?
Well, I just want to make sure that as a victim, the people who did these crimes to me are prosecuted. Yeah, they won't respond. I was given a business card by one of the detectives. There was two that came, to see me, and they never responded to my emails. I've left voicemails. I've left also messages with the supervisor, and none of them are calling me back. And basically, what they're doing is they're playing a racial discrimination game.
Give you direction of what they are doing about your reporting. Hold for a second so that I could get to my desk. Okay, hold on.
All right. Yes. Sure, it's Kepler. It's spelled K-E-P like Paul, L-E-R. is 3818 Crenshaw Boulevard, and it's spelled CRENSHAW Boulevard, and it's number 210. This, yeah, the city's Los Angeles. The zip code is 90008. 90008 is 310-666-5745 is January 13th, 1971.
That it did not go through. Reported this crime.
Well, originally I called 911 going back to the 27th of November of 2020. And because of what had taken place, I was a patient at this clinic, and this clinic was basically involved in a conspiracy to try and kill me. And I got it on video. They were all talking about what they were going to do. They were threatening me every day. And anyway, today is the 15th. It's June, so it's in the middle of the month. And I've been waiting for 4 months, more than 4 months. 4 months ago, I sent an email to the detective that got all of I had transcriptions of the video that I just mentioned to you. So this detective and his partner, they have had all of this evidence and they've done nothing. And meanwhile, yes. Well, I know the name of one of them because only one of them gave me his business card. So his name is Placentia. And his badge number from his card is number 33938.
So now, you were able to report it to the authorities. When did you report it to the authorities?
Well, originally, as I mentioned, on the 27th of November of 2020, I called 911. I called the
An officer go to the report number?
I requested it, but no officer showed up, and part of that is because this was at the height of COVID, and they never came. And also, this is the other reason why they thought, meaning these people at this clinic, that they could get away with what they were doing, because at that time there was a lot of crime taking place. And well, yeah, just all around Los Angeles because, of just the lack of police response. So anyway, as I was saying, today's now the middle of June, okay? I sent an email to this detective going back to the 15th of March. So that's 4 months. And he hasn't bothered to reply. Not only that, but I also left numerous voicemail messages with him, and I've left messages at the Rampart Division. Every time I spoken to an officer, the officer has said, "Oh, well, let me connect you to the detectives," and then it's an answering service. So, look, it doesn't matter to me if there's 1,000 million other crimes. In 4 months, if they can't even make a phone call, I mean, that kind of shows they're pretty useless. And again, meanwhile, there's 3 nurses that I filed the criminal report against, but really, the whole staff was participating in this whole conspiracy. Today, just in a generalization, from the very top people inside of that location being, number 1, the doctor, and number 2, the manager. I just spoke to the manager today, and the reason is that 2 weeks ago, I signed a medical release, and, today he's on the phone saying, "Oh, well, that whole matter was found to be," and I can't think of the exact word he used, but he's basically saying like there was nothing about the investigation. So, just like I've told you, I reported it originally through 911. I had the detectives come out. I also reported to everybody else I can think of, meaning the health department and the consumer affairs, because they all have their own sort of authority. Because
So you already contacted consumer affairs. You already contacted the health department.
I've contacted some attorneys. I'm in the process of filing a civil lawsuit against them, but the reason I'm telling you this is because you just asked me who's involved, and so basically today I spoke to the manager. This is the same manager. He's also involved, and I'll tell you, one of the nurses who I didn't press charges on because they wouldn't release his last name to me. But anyway, he tells me Robert said that we need to hit him, and he went into detail saying a lot of other stuff too. So basically, Robert is the manager who was the manager then, and he's the one I talked to on the phone, and he's trying to make it seem like in other words, like he's saying that the story is that my treatment, he's talking about they terminated my treatment, okay? He's trying to make it seem like the reason is because I harassed and threatened a patient. That's what he's saying. And the reality is that they terminated my treatment about 4 or 5 days, almost a week. It was about 4 or 5 days before I confronted this patient, which was the last day I was there. And just back up a second. He's saying that, the real story and the reason why, meaning the investigators, because I did report them to the health department, and I believe a detective that is attached with the health department went and spoke to them. And I'm still trying to get... What was that?
I follow. I need to know the name of the clinic.
Sure. It's called Fresenius, and it's spelled F-R-E-S-I-U-S. Fresenius. And it's mid-Wilshire is kind of what it is. And but anyway, just to kind of sum up what I was saying about this manager. So he tried to basically make it seem like I was causing a problem. Now, the reality is, I was in a corporate meeting. It's the only time I met him. Okay, when they first started, they were harassing me since I first started going to this clinic, going back to the beginning of August of 2020. The very first time they did it, I kind of just, I was aware of it. I let it go. The next time they did it, I picked up the phone and I asked to speak to the manager. And of course, he was never around. I go to the window. Where's the manager? Where's the supervisor? He's never around. So I just kept escalating it. And the first week, I was calling corporate and I was making complaints that, number one, there was no manager. There's no supervisor. I let them know everything that was going on, and ever since then, from August of 2020 up to this very day, the only thing that they've done is try to cover up what they did, all these crimes. I already mentioned I filed the police report, I filed a report with the health department and consumer affairs. I've given 2 people packages of the video with transcripts, and that was the detectives that I just gave you, and the other one was another set of detectives, but they were, I believe they're part of they're LAPD too, but they are.
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
You allow me, okay?
Sure.
Can you let me know the location of where this clinic is?
Yes, it is.
Their address?
Their address is 1422 11th Street in Los Angeles. And their zip code is 90015.
Follow-up question. I know you mentioned you contacted the consumer affairs, you contacted the department, you're now in the process of getting some legal assistance, which sounds like it's the thing that you could do at this moment, because they don't want to talk to you, maybe with that would be helpful. Have you also considered contacting the medical board? Because clinics, you do have medical doctors. So you have a complaint about someone's medical practice or some type of propriety. The Medical Licensing Board of California will be also another avenue to raise your concerns about what was happening when you were a patient.
Well, I can try it again. You know, when this happened, I had to spend 2 months in the hospital. So from the end of November until like almost February, in other words, the end of 2020, November, all the way until like the end of January or February. I forgot exactly what the date. I was there for 2 months. When I got out, or put it this way, when I was in the hospital, I had filed a complaint with the medical board. I filed a complaint against the doctor. You know, when I was at the hospital, because I was hospitalized because I couldn't go to any other clinic. Listen, not only did they do what they did to me at this place, they were threatening me, and they were talking about shooting me and talking about killing me and hitting me and all this other stuff. You know, I have them on video talking about how they're threatening me every day. Today, this manager on the phone, he tells me, oh, well, the investigation. Now, what he's talking about, he's not talking about Dr. Detective Placentia. He's talking about this other guy, and he wouldn't even give me his real name. All he gave me was one name, and he was the person who was for the health department. And he went and talked to Livier, which is one of the nurses I filed charges against, and she lied. And I told this guy I have video of her threatening me and all the other people threatening me, and he says, oh, well, we can't use video. So basically what's going on is they're trying to cover it up. And the manager today tells me that I was the one doing the threatening. So he's actually trying to turn it around. And what they were doing is they were threatening me so that they could get me to confront someone, which is what I did. But I confronted someone on the 27th of November. So they threatened me from August 2nd all the way for 3 months, whatever that is, 4 months, August, September, October, November, 4 months, basically. Okay. And I have it in proof. I have it on video. And not only that, he's lying to me, this manager. He tells me that, the story is that I was the one who was doing the harassing and I threatened someone, which is a lie, because I confronted somebody on the 27th, and guess what? I videotaped the whole thing.
Perfect.
So I have.
So that when you speak with an attorney, you're able to, well, give them all the stuff. Keep the original for yourself, okay? Always keep something original, because we don't know what the other person might be placing those things. But you can talk to an attorney, what your legal standing might be in court for what they've done or what they may have done to you. See what the sense of civil remedies. Now, I would try to see if there is anyone assigned to a case, but not who. But before I need to know whether there's a crime report.
Yes, I have. Okay, so I have two numbers. One is the incident number, and then the other one is the police report number. But so the report.
Which one are you doing first? The report?
The report number. It's number 220204-577, and kind of the way it reads is that there was 3 nurses, and their hate crimes, because they were saying all kind of stuff. You know, he's gay and he's a pedophile, just typical gay hate, which is also untrue. And they were, the reason they were saying this, part of it was psychological warfare. I mentioned to you what the manager, he tried to make it seem like I was the one doing the threatening. So basically, they keep threatening me every single day, trying to get me to react. And on the 27th, I confronted this guy, and I mentioned to you, I got on video. I never said, I'm going to punch you, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to assault. I never said anything. What I did do is I confronted him. And the reason is that this guy was threatening me. And I got that on audio. He was saying stuff like, we're going to hit him, we're going to shoot him. And anyway, I got up at the end of the treatment because I was attached to a machine, and he was on the other aisle behind me, laughing and giggling while he was doing all this. And anyway, I confronted him. I said, look, what you're saying is not true. It's a lie. And we're adults, and we can handle this any way that you want to. That's what I said to him. Now, how, if he can interpret this as a threat or whatever, but listen, this isn't without just cause. This guy, I got him on audio talking about hitting me, about shooting me.
When was your release
On that day, well, the next day they called me on the, so it was the 28th, but basically he's saying, oh, don't come back here anymore. You were threatening someone. So listen, I have video for going all the way back to August where the nurses are threatening me, and this is part of the report number I just gave you. I have it on video. That's why I'm saying that these detectives are obstructing justice. And see,
what I'm going to do is this, okay? I have no authority over what police does. I am the lowest of the lowest in the scheme of all things, right? I request for the detective to give you a call to the crime report number to follow up on information that you're able to receive. That I could do. Now, in reference to the other legal aspects, the civil aspect, the problem with either the health department or consumer affairs. Report is to the consumer affairs is not the business and they're not performing the standard, right? Then you also, if those people are licensed, you could report it to the medical board. Something you may be able to request an investigation, hoping there is enough evidence for them to do that. Now, if you go ahead and seek information from a legal expert, I am not a legal expert. I am unfortunately and I am not in no position to give you any legal advice, but you could go meet with someone that you will have to pay, of course. That will be a lawyer, making sure that person is a lawyer who holds a law degree, so that you could explore some kind of avenue where there's some type of action.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get an attorney so I can just file the lawsuit. I have everything written down. I have everything written down, so.
What I'll do for you is to contact with the detective to find out your information that you're trying to get in contact with you. Do you have a contact?
Yes.
What's the number?
It's A as in Apple, 328 4386. And my name is Christian Kepler.
Christian. General spelling, correct? Christian?
Yeah, it's CHRISTIAN.
I don't want to be personal, but what kind of medical clinic is that? Was that for a physical medical condition? Or was that due to mental health assistance?
No, it's for physical. I had kidney failure, and so this place is a dialysis clinic, and I was going there 3 times a week. And since everything that's happened there, I've gone to a different program when I get out of the hospital, and so I do the dialysis myself at home, so I don't have to deal with them trying to play their games like they were.
Somebody comes to you and
No, I do it myself. I got a certificate and all that. So I have my own machine at home, and yeah. But
sometimes we have to be advocates for ourselves. If those things work for you at the facility, sometimes there are people that because they work at a facility where nobody takes care or nobody my best advice to you will be to contact the licensing board for all clinics, try to find out whether I'm issue with that, and hopefully some type of control will be done so that this agency can be, corrected.
They're not calling me back either. Going back to March, I also sent another message to the Consumer Affairs, and they haven't replied to me.
That also COVID that we are experiencing for the last 2 years. But let me see what I could do for you so that
Yes, that is. And your name again was?
my name is Briana. No,
Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me, and I really appreciate it.
well, I'm glad that you're doing so much better. Reaching out for help and just don't be discouraged, okay?
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Hello, my name is Christian Kepler, and I am a victim of a crime. I filed a report some time ago, in 21, and the person that was working on the case, one of the people was Desiree Robinson. She was the investigating facility, and in particular, there was a nurse, a registered nurse, because you guys are in charge of disciplining. And I haven't gotten an update since March. This is now June. It's been 4 months. I've left emails. I've left either that or her super. Actually, I would prefer to speak to her supervisor or someone.
Want to speak to Desiree? You can give her a call at her work cell number.
Well, I've already done that, and she's not returning a phone call. So can I speak to somebody else?
Call the supervisor.
Okay, can you give me that number?
3340229.
Oh, wait, hold on one second. I got 323.
490.
Okay.
0229. Mark Marusti.
Mark Marusti. Oof. Okay. I'll give him a call.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, my name is Christian Kepler, and I was giving this number in regards to a phone call that I was speaking to somebody in Consumer Affairs. I have filed a report, a complaint against a registered nurse going back to originally 2020 and also in 2021. And I haven't gotten an update since March, actually even before that. And I'm calling because I would like to have results. This person has not been disciplined, and this person has committed all sorts of felony crimes, and I'm calling because I want to make sure that nobody else has to go through what I went through. And in a nutshell, right now, the way things are going, I feel that there's obstruction of justice going on. I think that everything is trying to be covered up. I have video of this nurse talking about shooting me, trying to get somebody else to shoot me, which that's conspiracy to commit murder. And I got the whole thing on video. Okay, and I've already filed a criminal police report, but aside from that, again, you guys are the ones who handle licensing for registered nurses. So I'm calling because Desiree Robinson was the investigator. She has not responded to any of my phone calls or email messages going back to March. This is now June. So it's been 4 months and I haven't gotten nothing. And, I haven't turned any of this information or video, which is what I have, over to the media. But I mean, it's going to really look bad if, this is on YouTube and millions of people all around the world see what happened. And yet there's this nurse and she's just going on as if nothing ever happened. And the Department of Consumer Affairs, which is responsible for doing an investigation, where's the investigation? I'm calling you because Desiree Robinson won't return my phone calls. And, it doesn't matter how many people you have. This is a serious matter. We're talking about someone who's trying to kill someone, and I got the whole thing on video. So I expect to have results, and I would appreciate it if you, as the supervisor, can help in getting some results. My name again is Christian Kepler, and my phone number is 310-666-5745. And what took place was a hate crime. I reported to the police as a hate crime, and there's no statute of limitations on hate crimes.
If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To listen to your message, to send your message with normal delivery, press 1. To send your message with thank you. Your message has been... Thank you for calling Airfield Services. If you know the extension of a party you wish to...
Thank you for calling Fresenius Kidney Care. Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes. Please remain on the line for the next available agent. Important health update. Please be advised, we are taking significant steps to reduce the chance of transmission of COVID-19 and ensure our patients and employees are safe. If you'd like to hear more, press 1. Otherwise, please remain on the line to speak with an agent. You may experience longer than usual hold times. We apologize for the inconvenience. Thank you for your patience. Please remain on the line, and a customer care advocate will be with you as soon as possible.
California Medical Board.
Thank you for holding. Hello, fresenius, good to hear this. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'm calling because I have been trying to get my medical records for some time now, and what's going on is the manager at the place where I was a patient, he's refusing to give me my medical records. I have signed a medical release 2 weeks ago, and today on the telephone he's talking about how he can't tell me when I'm going to get my medical records. And basically I filed a criminal police report against 3 staff members of his. But see, the reason why he's refusing to give my medical records is because he's involved in this conspiracy. I have video of these staff members threatening to kill me and all this stuff, and I'm pressing criminal charges against them, and the only reason why there's no criminal charges against him is because he wasn't doing it. He was getting them to do it. But one of those people that was threatening me bragged about how he told them to do what they were doing. So I'm calling because this manager is still there. I've made complaints about him going back to 2020 when I was a patient, and 2021. It's now 2022, and this guy is still the manager there. This guy is a felon. He's a criminal felon, and yet he's still the staff manager there. So I'm calling for a lot of reasons. Number one, I need my medical records, okay, and my billing records as well. And I contacted you guys first. You told me to go to the clinic and request them. I've done that, and they've done nothing. Today the manager says, "Oh, well, we have to get them from corporate." Well, it's really funny because a month ago when I spoke to you guys at corporate, you said that I had to get them from him, from the local office. So right now, I'm contacting you because I'm getting the runaround, but I need to have results.
For your medical records, they're the only one who could provide that to you. We don't have access to those. So why they're telling you now to get it from us?
Because this guy is a criminal and he doesn't want to release my medical records because he knows that, if I have the medical records, in his mind, basically I'm getting ready to sue Fresenius Mid-Wilshire in civil court. Now, requesting my medical records, that's part of my rights. Now, he doesn't want to give them to me. He just told me today that he doesn't know when he can get them, and that he has to get them from corporate. That's what he told me. So he's basically lying, which is nothing.
They know that we don't have access to them.
So yeah, that just confirms it. He's a liar. So then my next question is this. Who is it that I can speak to that has the authority to fire this guy? Because basically that's who I need to speak to. This guy is refusing to give me my medical records. He's doing the same thing. When I was a patient there, I was making all these complaints, and they never sent me any sort of arbitration. They refused to send me anything in writing out of all the complaints I made. They refused.
Let me check if someone is available. This is Ms. Wilshire you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Los Angeles, California.
Yep, 1422 West 11th Street.
And how should I address you, please? Sorry. Can you ask for your name?
Yeah, my name is Christian Kepler. It's spelled, my last name is spelled K-E-P, like Paul, L-E-R. And this manager, his name is Brian. What is his last name? Brian Briana.
Can I put you on hold?
Yes.
For a minute or two, I'll try to check if there's someone available with the permit.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Kaplan. Thank you for patiently waiting. And how one of the staff at the Credential for to assist you in filing a complaint?
Thank you.
The staff at the clinic. Have a good day. Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Mr. Kepler. Okay, can you verify your date of birth for me so I know if I have the right patient?
Yes, it's January 13th, 1971.
Okay. January 13th, 1971. Okay, and what clinic do you go to?
I was going to Fresenius Mid Wilshire, and this is going back to August of 2020 and until the 27th of November 2022.
Okay, so I'll have to take down. So what clinic are you reaching out to voice concerns with? Is it in regards to that clinic?
Yes, it is. And the reason is that today I had a conversation with Robert Briani. He's the manager or supervisor. That's what I'm being told. He was at that time when I was a patient, and he is today. Today on the telephone, he tells me that he has no idea when he can give me my medical records or my billing records. He tells me he has no idea. A month ago, I called corporate and they told me that I have to get my medical records from that location. Okay? 2 weeks ago, I signed a release form. It took over a week for them to give me the release form. So we're talking about a month since I called corporate to get my medical records. So today he tells me, as I mentioned, that he has no idea of when he can get them, and he then says that he has to get the records from corporate. Now, before I was transferred to you, a person told me that's not true. They're the only ones who have the records. So basically, he's lying to me. He is a pathological liar. I have filed felony criminal police charges against 3 people who are in his staff, and really he should be charged also. The only reason why he isn't is because I don't have video evidence on him, but I do on these other individuals. This guy is still the manager or supervisor of a location, and he's involved in conspiracy to commit murder. This is no exaggeration. I have video evidence of one of his staff members saying, and I quote, "Robert told us," meaning the staff, "that we need to hit him." This is the type of individual that you have working for you. And I've made complaints to, I already told you, I have a criminal police report with Los Angeles Police Department. I have another criminal police report with Consumer Affairs. They have their own investigative, their state police. I haven't gone to the FBI yet. That's an option. And another option is for me to just contact the medical board. I've already filed a complaint with the health department, and for whatever reason they're trying to cover it up because they have their own detectives. They sent a detective to speak to one of the people. Her name is Livier, who was threatening me, and she's still under investigation. And he tells me, "Oh, well, we can't use any video." I have her on video talking about how she's going to threaten me every single day and how she's hitting me and we're going to hit him, and just all sorts of racial and sexual orientation discrimination and defamation of character, which is all a lie. But the reason I'm telling you this is, as a patient, my right is to get my medical records, and apparently Robert Briana, who is still a staff member and he's being paid by Fresenius, which is your company, he's breaking the law. He's committing felony crimes, and he's still on staff. He still hasn't been disciplined after all the complaints I've made going all the way back to 2020 up until the present. I have requested no less than 20 times on the telephone that I wanted to file written complaints about everything that was going on there, and I have yet to receive one piece of mail that affirms that I filed these complaints. And I would like to know why. I feel that the reason is that it's being covered up.
Okay, and what's a good callback number for you, Mr. Kepler?
It's 310-666-5745.
Okay. I will send information over to the Director of Operations to let them know that you have submitted in writing the records request and you have not received that information back.
And also that Robert Briana is not cooperating. He is trying to obstruct justice and the investigation. He never disciplined any of these staff members. The most he told them was, "Oh my God, don't threaten him because he's recording us. He's going to sue us." But he didn't do anything. They kept threatening me and harassing me. You know what? Today he told me, "Oh well, we terminated your treatment because you were harassing and you threatened a patient." This is after 4 months of his staff threatening me. This guy needs to be fired, and this guy is going to cost you a lot of money. I'm gonna take Fresenius Mid Wilshire to court. There's going to be a civil rights lawsuit. I'm asking for my medical records, and I'm telling you guys, if you guys don't produce these medical records in court, this is just one more thing that looks bad against you. I told him in the corporate meeting when he was terminating my treatment, before I supposedly threatened or harassed someone, they had already terminated my treatment because they figured out that I was recording them and that they weren't going to be able to carry out all the threats and everything they were doing to me. And you know, this is just violation after violation, civil rights violation, breach of contract, you know, felony, terrorist threats. It just goes on and on. This is a hate crime what they did. You know, I'm telling you all of this because why is it that Fresenius and your operations manager, whom I spoke to going all the way back to October and even before August in 2020, still has Robert Briana as the manager there? That means that you guys are complicit with everything that he's done.
Okay. And like I said, all I can do is send this information over to the Director of Operations to let them know you're calling still in regards to those records and submitting that information and that you're needing those records.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to hear from me and you know, make the notation, and hopefully I'll get results.
Yeah, and I will give them this number to try to follow up, you know, or see if there's anything that is going on in regards to that.
Okay, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you for calling Next Stage Medical. For English, thank you for calling Next Stage Medical. If this is a medical emergency, please hang up and dial 911. All calls are recorded for quality assurance purposes. Please listen carefully as our menu options have changed. For all equipment and supply delivery questions, please press 1 now. Your call is being transferred now. In order to best direct your call, please choose from the following options. For in-treatment, press the star key. Care flow, press 1. Cycler, press 2. Your call is being transferred now.
Next Stage Tech Support, this is Carlos.
Hello, Carlos. I'm calling. I'm a patient,
and I have a problem as usual with the next stage cycler.
Oh, go ahead, I'm waiting.
So, it's giving me a code 10 and the machine needs to be replaced. I basically, I tried to do a treatment yesterday and it stopped, or actually the day before, and it stopped on me. And today I primed the cartridge before this one. It stopped on me after only like 2 liters. And now, I just primed. I didn't even get to finish completing the prime, and it just went into code 10. And of course I cleaned the sensors, but that's not what the problem is. The problem is that this machine, just like the one that you guys gave me before, had the exact same problem, because you guys keep selling people junk. You keep purposely selling people machines that are broken. These machines are not repaired. They have not been remanufactured. The sensors haven't been changed. And what you guys are doing is fraud. And, I need a new machine. And this is even beyond the point where, I should have been able to do dialysis yesterday and I didn't. And, it's like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I was already planning on being finished. And I have this issue with this machine where it's giving me a 10 and it won't work. It can't even get through the prime.
Is it giving you a 10 alarm? So you're priming the cartridge. What's the number between the up and down green arrows?
There is no number. I got to the point where you press the stop button after you do.
So it was finished priming.
No, it's not finished priming because I haven't been able to disconnect the lines yet. I got to the point where you drain the air from the cartridge, okay, and when I got to the point where I released, or actually when I got to the point where I did the 2 releases, then I pressed the stop button, and shortly after that it went into a 10.
That's the problem. You're supposed to release the air after you press stop.
I did that.
Hold on. Let me just finish for a second. Maybe that way you can then tell me what you did. If you prime the saline T before pressing stop, it'll suck air into the line.
Okay, so that's not how they taught me in training. In fact, what they taught me was, while it's still in the high mode, you press the mute button. You don't press the stop button. You press the mute button, and you take the air out of the top of the filter and in the intake line for like the medicine port line. After that, you press the stop button, and then you proceed to the red line and to the bolus, and then you do the same thing to that to get the air out of that.
Right. The one from the one on top of the filter, right. You do it while it's still running, but the one from the saline T, you said you did it after you press stop, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, that's correct, and you did it the right way.
I know I did it the right way. And so, going back to my statement, what you guys are doing is clearly medical billing fraud, and the problem that I'm having now, I had with the machine before, and that was it was about a week ago, okay? And, it's like, I just recently gone back to work, and I have to deal with this bullshit, and I'm not even excusing my French because you guys are responsible. You keep giving me machines that don't work.
You're telling me, but really you need to tell someone else, because I'm going to get you another machine, but you're telling me all this isn't going to change anything.
Well, maybe if you put it in the records, it will, because what it's all coming down to is I have to send
an email.
To who?
To tech support, whoever, somebody in next stage.
Well, you are tech support.
Send an email to tech support.
Are you not?
Support at fmc.com.
fmc.com.
Tell them how you feel.
fmc.com.
Tell them how you feel.
That's fresenius, right?
That's right.
Okay, so
That doesn't surprise me that you said FMC. You know, so the
Right. That's what I'm saying. Believe me, I'm trying to help you. I'm telling you, send an email. Tell them how you're feeling. Me writing it here is only gonna go through the system. But I'm telling you right now, tell them how you feel. And what is the serial number on your cycle so I can get you another one?
It's 8708. This is the second time I'm having to do. You know, I'm just so upset right now because about 2 months ago, approximately 2 months ago, I had to go through 5 machines in less than 2 weeks because you guys kept giving me machines that don't work. 5 machines in less than 2 weeks. Now this is the second machine in less than about a week. And the exact same problem. I'm an electronics engineer, you know, and have inventions and designs that I've made with tens of thousands of parts. Okay, so I'm both a mechanical engineer and electrical engineer, and I know for a fact that you guys have not replaced any of these sensors on these machines. These Hall sensors are the problem. Let me rephrase that. They're one of the problems. There are many problems. The main problem that's going on is that you guys aren't listening. I've told, you know, you just said to email tech support. I'll do that. But ultimately, I can... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm trying to give you some good advice on where to send it to. Because I'm trying to help you in that regard.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do...
I know you're saying you guys, but you know as well as I know that I'm here in tech support, and I'm not the engineer. I'm not the one that designs the machines. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
No, I understand that. It's not you. It's not you personally. It's just that you're the one who's answering the phone, and I know you have access to the computer. And I hope you put this in the computer. This Friday, I'm filing a $10 billion lawsuit against Fresenius.
Oh, I'm not gonna put that. You could just do that. I don't need to put that in. You could just do.
Well, see that's what the problem is. You don't want to put it in, and I'm not even exaggerating.
You know something?
Yeah.
Me writing in here that you're filing a 10 billion or 20 billion or 100 billion lawsuit is just like, I'm just swapping your cycler out. If you want to do that, go ahead. I mean, that's your prerogative. It's a great thing, you know, that people can do what they want to do.
It's not even a matter of doing what a person wants to do. What it's a matter of is justice, and this is the United States of America. And if someone is giving you something and making thousands of dollars every single time, and it's broke, that is a crime. That is, it's obviously it's civil, and they're liable for it. But beyond that, I think it's actually criminal. And the reason I think it's criminal is because of what I've just told you. I'm not even exaggerating. 2 months ago, I went through 5 machines. Now it's been like 1 week, and this is the exact same problem with a different machine. You know, and you asked me for a serial number. So it's not like you guys aren't tracking these machines.
Well, no, they won't even swap it if I don't have a serial number.
No, I understand that. I'm not faulting you. I'm just making the point that there is a record of every single one of these machines. And if, you know, I had a problem with the last machine that this machine is now doing, a 10. The guy tried to make it seem like, oh, well, you have to clean the sensor. Of course I clean the sensors. What do you think, I'm an idiot? That's not what the problem is. The problem is their machines don't work. And then they turn around and they give me another machine, and it's the exact same problem, which just confirms everything that I've been saying. And, you know, it's like, you're the tech support. I understand you gave me, you know, you're telling me to email them. I'm going to email them this Friday or the middle of next week when they get served the papers, because I'm suing a clinic where I was at. Okay, and also I'm suing the corporate because they own more than 30% of every single clinic in the United States. And of course, you just already said it. They own Next Stage, they own DaVita, but you know, the problem is that they're not listening to, I'm not the only one complaining. I mean, that's obvious. I'm sure you have other people. You have a whole system in place.
Honestly, I've been working all night, and I've done over 20 calls, you're the first one that's complained to me.
Out of the 20 calls?
Yes.
Well, then I think they're singling me out.
Everybody that I've talked to, I've been able to troubleshoot and help them. I haven't swapped one machine out tonight.
Okay.
I'm Pure Flow or Cycler.
So how am I supposed to troubleshoot a machine that's giving me a code 10?
Well, you don't want to troubleshoot. You told me to swap it, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, because I've already tried to troubleshoot. There's nothing to... What is there to troubleshoot? You tell me.
Christian, I'm not arguing with you. I'm going to get you another machine. You asked me that you're not the only one that's complaining, and I just answered you that, I've had complaints other days of stuff, but honestly, I've been working here 14 years, and most of the times, things go pretty smooth. I understand you've been having a lot of issues with cyclers and all that, and believe me, and I feel bad for you, I really do, and I say that sincerely. I'm not just saying that, to blow smoke at you, but...
Okay, well, I hear what you're saying, but see, the whole thing is, when I first started, I had the first cycler for actually a while, for like 6 or 7 months, and then it just, you know what I think? Now that, if what you're saying is true, and,
I'm not lying to you. Why would I lie to you? I have no reason to lie.
I'm not saying you are, but I'm making a point. There are serial numbers, and I'm saying this again, on these machines. And you're telling me that you've spoken to 20 people and you've troubleshooted with them, but yet they're giving me machines that have the exact same problem, and they all have serial numbers on them. They did it to me 2 months ago. They gave me 5 machines that were bad. All of a sudden I noticed that they weren't sending supplies. They didn't want to send the right supplies. It was almost as if they had just written me off. And that was the reason why they also wouldn't send the supplies. And that was all simultaneous to them giving me bad machines. So I think that there's a big difference between a coincidence and maliciousness. And I'm not even exaggerating. I have a lawsuit I'm going to file this Friday. It will be stamped and dated. So I now believe, based upon what you've just said, that they are maliciously, purposely giving me machines that are broken or that are going to become broken after a brief period of time, and this is what I'm experiencing.
Yeah,
based upon what you just told me. Based upon what you just told me.
But really, now what's the purpose of doing that? Because it costs a lot of money to swap out equipment and stuff. Shipping is very expensive. So why would they want to give you a machine that's going to break or broken?
Because they're making money every single time they do it. They're not in the business of giving these away for free.
No, but they're not. Who's paying for it? They are.
They're not paying for it. My insurance company is paying for it. The taxpayer is paying for it.
All right. Well.
So anyway, it's not an argument. Yeah, it's not an argument with you.
I'm not here to argue with you. Yeah, I know. I'm not arguing with you or nothing. I'm just saying. But let me just make sure.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. I'll go ahead and send that out to you then.
And when will I receive it? Today's Monday.
Today's Monday. You should get it by tomorrow, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're gonna put in the notes what I mentioned. See, look at it. I'm just sitting here and it just went into a 10.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I just wrote that you're upset. You're not happy with the equipment, and basically that's it.
Yeah, you guys keep giving me machines that are broke.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. I said you're very upset. You're not happy.
Well, I specifically want you to write that you keep giving me machines that are broke. This isn't one of those things where I'm not doing it right. You're giving machines that are broke.
Let me write that down. He stated that we are giving him machines that are broke. I'll say broken. There you go.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.